What's up everybody, Chef Glenn B and I'm back in the kitchen, and today I'm working on a bacon barbecue burger. I'm gonna try to pair it with a Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's get right into it. All right, so again, I'm doing the bacon barbecue burger. I've got all of these ingredients here that I need to prepare. I've got these onion straws, I've got hickory smoked cheddar cheese that's going on it. I've got bacon. First thing, bacon's gotta go in the oven so it can start cooking. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is get everything together for my onion straws. I've got these thinly sliced onions here, and I've got some flour that I'm gonna bread them in. I've got these spices here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I've got some buttermilk. I wanna get these onions in buttermilk, and I want these onions to sit in that buttermilk for about 30 minutes or so while I'm getting everything else ready. I'm gonna stick these in the refrigerator. All right, so my thinly sliced onions are in the buttermilk and in the refrigerator. Now I need to get this flour, get the spices in the flour. So I've got some all-purpose flour here. I've got smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, black pepper, garlic powder, and kosher salt. I'm just gonna whisk all of that together. So I'm gonna sit my flour mixture aside and get my beef ready. So I've got my ground beef here. I've got 85-15. For those of you that don't know, the 15 means that it's 15% fat. This is a great choice for ground beef. A couple of things I wanna point out. When you're buying your ground beef, never buy ground beef that just says ground beef. Always look for a little more specificity as to what it is, whether it's 80-20, 85-15, 90-10. If you can't get your butcher to grind your beef for you, then look for some quality ground beef. Again, never buy anything that's just generically ground beef, okay? So what I'm gonna do with this ground beef is I'm gonna put it on this sheet pan that I have here, and I'm gonna season it up a little bit with this onion powder and garlic powder I have. So I'm gonna just season it with a little onion powder and garlic powder. So I'm gonna split this up into 2 patties. This is actually a pound of ground beef, so I'm making some pretty hefty patties. The other thing I want to point out is, as you saw, I've seasoned it with onion powder and garlic powder. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna season these with salt and pepper right before I put them in the pan. So my patties are gonna be pretty thick. What I wanna do in the middle is I wanna create a dent in the middle. And what that's gonna do is gonna allow the patty to cook up even. It's also gonna prevent the patty from swelling up in the middle like they tend to do. All right, so I'm gonna mix up my barbecue mayo. It's a simple blend of mayonnaise and barbecue sauce. Okay, so let's talk about the wine. I'm pairing the burger with the 2019 Daou Cabernet Sauvignon Family Cuvee. Daou is in Paso Robles. They're one of my absolute favorite wines Daou produces, which is that Soul of a Lion. Really, really dark. Really dark, opaque. But it's got a beautiful glow. It's like a really vibrant red around the edge of the wine. Although it's dark, this just really, it's got a magnificent ruby red type of a color. It's beautiful. Yeah. Crimson. So on the nose, this wine is it's so signature. It has that signature Daou thing going on where it's really ripe. Daou Cabernet Sauvignons tend to be really ripe. I think it has a lot to do with the area that the grapes are grown in, lots of sunshine. And so, yeah, that's what I'm getting on the nose. I'm getting dark fruit, getting a little bit of cedar, little leathery, a little bit of leather on the nose. And then that, again, that dark, really, really ripe fruit. I've yet to taste it, but the fruit seems ripe on the nose. Seems really plush and really juicy. Let's see, give it a taste. Wow. So immediately it's medium bodied. The tannins are present and doing their thing. I'm getting that. Having that drying effect, that grippy thing that happens when the tannins do their thing. And just like I said, on the nose, the ripeness, the really ripe, fully flavorful fruit. Those grapes. This is so Daou. I mean, I could close my eyes and drink a Daou and tell you a glass of Daou throughout their lineup and probably tell you it's a Daou. But yeah, it's brooding, it's deep, it's dark. Not getting a whole lot. I don't know whether this wine was in, how long this wine was in oak. I'm sure it was in oak at some point, but not getting a lot of oak on the palate. But again, it's a long finish. I get the drying, I get the tannin action in my mouth. So although it's a very young wine, 2019, again, this fruit seems so, I think it was allowed to really ripen. Maybe, I don't know, I need to look into how long Daou allows their fruit to hang on the vine before they're picking it. But boy, it just seems like these wines, the fruit is allowed to get really ripe. This is so plush, so full of flavor, tongue coater, long finish, really good Cabernet Sauvignon. Definitely Paso Robles, definitely Daou. And I think it's probably gonna do a good job pairing with the Bacon BBQ Burger. I'm gonna season my patties with some salt and fresh cracked black pepper. All right, so I'm ready to cook my patties. I'm cooking mine on a grill pan. Of course, if you cook these on the grill outside, it's gonna be much better, but you can cook it in a grill pan, or you can cook it in a cast iron pan, or you can cook it in a stainless steel pan. It's all gonna be good. So, got a little pan spray here. All right, so as you can see, it's plenty smoky in here. I moved the beef patties back to the stove so that the fan can pull that smoke out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and get my onion strings fried up. I'm gonna pull them out of this buttermilk, bread them in the flour, and get them fried up. So I'm gonna toast my brioche buns. Add a little canola oil in the pan. I'm gonna add a little butter. All right, so the burger's done. Let's taste. We've already tasted the wine. We've determined it's fantastic. Let's give this a taste. Extremely juicy, but delicious. Seamless pairing. That complements that burger so well. Let me double check though. This is a substantial burger. So we know that Cabernet Sauvignon loves beef. It pairs perfectly with the beef. The cheddar cheese, the onions, everything that's going on, the barbecue sauce, the bacon, all of those things are seamlessly pairing with this wine. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for watching my video today. For those of you that have already subscribed, I'm deeply appreciative. Thank you. For those of you that are new and have yet to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I regularly drop videos where I'm sharing my favorite recipes and I'm pairing them with wines, and the intent is always to get the perfect pairing. I'm Chef Glenn B, and as always, eat well.